The Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Agency meeting for Tuesday, December 16th at 7 p.m. Can we have a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For evacuation, if there's an emergency in the building, you can exit through the door in the back of the building, a room, or you can go down to my left, down the stairs, and away from the building. Roll call, please.
Donna Corbin-Savinsky.
Here.
Kevin Zorda.
Here.
Virginia Higley. Here. Kelly Hemler.
Here.
Dylan Bridge.
Here.
Ann Collins.
Absent.
Absent. Ken Kaufman.
Very confused. Here.
Chris Renaud.
Here.
Robert Gillespie.
Here.
And Christopher
Lataki.
Lataki.
Here.
Okay. And I'd like
Sorry,
to
it's kind of
it's written in kind of
smudged.
message. I'd like to see Robert Gillespie for the meeting. So, and I also would like to welcome Christopher Lataki. He was appointed by the town council on December 1st as an alternate. So welcome to the inland wetlands.
Thank you.
Public communications and petitions. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak regarding items not on the agenda? Anybody want to speak regarding items not on the agenda? Seeing none. Is correspondence? I didn't have any. No. Next is minutes of preceding meetings from October 21st.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of October 30th, 2025.
October 21st.
I'm sorry, October 21st, 2025.
Second.
Second is Ken. Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
I need the alternate seat.
Bob?
Donna Corbin-Savinsky.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley. Yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ken Kaufman.
Here. Yes.
And
Figure this thing out.
Robert Gillespie.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, 6 in favor, 1 abstain, motion passes. We also have, next is our town attorney report from October 30th. It's regarding items that are in litigation. We have no continued public hearings, no new public hearings, no old business, no new business, down to enforcement reports. 50 Steel Road, a cease and desist. This is continued from October 7th. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Brian Smith, representing, with Robinson & Co., representing Lorraine and Martin and Dexler, who are the recipients of the cease and desist order that you received, or they received, and that was given by the wetlands agent. And since October 7th, as we had promised, they undertook to do a survey to show the boundaries, and I have it. I have a couple of prints for the commission to look at as well right now that was done to show where the cutting was done by their neighbor, and it also better defines precisely exactly where the conservation easement lines are, where the boundary lines are, and where a couple of significant trees are. So,
I see.
Here.
so if I could just
You don't have one.
walk you through it a little bit. It's actually on the second page of the survey is the area that was where the damage took place. You go on the second sheet of the survey. It's a very long property, therefore it had to have a.
Yep.
Yeah, just try to speak into it.
Okay. Well, I thought you had another one over there, but. Anyway, can you hear me now?
Can it go on the screen? We don't have it. Alex doesn't have it?
No, Alex did not get it. I was not aware they were going to bring the survey tonight, so my apologies. I just stamped them in earlier. They're on the front page.
I think I sent you a emailed copy at one. Did I
You
not?
did send me an emailed copy. I wasn't aware that we were going to present it tonight.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's the same. We have another copy if you'd like, if you need another one. Yeah. Here's one more. You keep that one too. Yeah, I'll keep 2. You have enough for everybody? Okay, yeah, on the second page of the survey is that shows Steel Road on the right-hand side. It's to the east, and their property runs in an easter and westerly direction. The driveway does, and this driveway is owned by the neighbor, and there's an easement across to the rear lot, which is where the Ann Dexlers live at 52, which is on the front page. But they own the property all the way down to, you can see there's a little bit of, all the way to the frontage to the street. There's a thin line on the northerly side of the survey. And that strip of land belongs to them. That's where a watercourse exists that goes under Steel Road through a 24-inch pipe when it gets there. And that watercourse, if you go back to the first page, extends all the way along their property. If you go on the first page, it goes back to along properties of the adjacent neighbors and to where the town of Enfield actually owns it at the far westerly end of a portion. There's a drainage and conservation easement, which is, if you were to color it up, it would show it's a very large area not only in their property, but all the way down to Steel Road. So, and therefore, there were markers along some of the trees that delineated this, but one of their neighbor, the neighbor decided that the tree was dying, and it may be, but it had the marker on it, I believe. It's the one he chose to start cutting down. And so that got the attention of everybody. And so we've done the survey. We've talked to the neighbor. He had a trailer in the area as well. I believe he's removed that now. Yes. Yeah, we've convinced him that it shouldn't be on our property and shouldn't be in the wetland and watercourse area. And I believe the Ann Dexlers also, they've located, and maybe if Martin or Lorraine can come up, I can make sure I point to the right trees. There's a couple of trees that are dying that looking at the conservation easement, we're allowed to take them down with your permission if we demonstrate that they're dying and there be a danger or that sort of thing. And so that's what, and I believe Mr. Heine has been out to the site and looked at the trees that we're talking about on the survey. I think it was over here somewhere, right? It was up here, the Little John? Yeah. So, yeah, Mr. Martin Ann Dexler just pointed out that it's along the Little John is the property owner. If you go to the first page, it's right on, you can see the Little John property on the easterly side of the first page. And it's also on the very far left side of the second page. There's a tree that's overhanging both the property of Mr. Littlejohn and the Ann Dexlers. And it's a dangerous tree and it's a dangerous situation.
It's also overhanging.
Overhanging, oh yes. So as Mr. Ann Dexler said, it's overhanging their fence. So we would like permission to have that removed, whether we do it or we hire someone to do it.
Is that the 24-inch dead oak with plaque? Or the 20-inch? Can you point out to us which one it is?
You want to go up?
Yeah.
Can you come
Well, the
point?
tree's not marked then.
No.
Yeah, that tree's
you
not, I
gotta-
don't know if
Can you
that,
come over
up
here?
here and show them? Show it, where the tree is? Could you come up here and point on here?
yeah. We'll point out where the area is. I don't know if that particular.
Oh, the tree's not marked.
I was gonna say the exact tree isn't marked on the site
okay.
plan.
Right.
I did include a picture of the tree in the email that I had sent out to all of you. That was the one that was hanging out across the watercourse.
We can come up and point out approximately.
Okay, if you want to, that'd be good, yeah.
So,
This page 2? This is page 2. Hi.
It's this tree?
yeah.
No, that's the original tree
Okay.
for the cease and desist. It would be,
So you sent it to us, you said, a picture?
Yes, that was included in the email I had sent out to you all.
Oh, okay.
Down a little bit.
It's the last.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's every
Yeah,
year.
okay.
Will you be leaving the stumps?
Yeah, it has to,
Taking them up?
Yeah, yeah.
has to leave the stump.
Has to leave this
yeah,
one.
we want to be able to, so it doesn't fall on
Yeah.
the neighbor's
Yeah.
fence, and
Yeah.
then we have a
Yeah.
liability on the fence, so.
Where's the bud is it on here? Or just general? This is page
we need
2.
to find a little-
It's, yeah.
Oh, all right, so we can't really see that.
Oh, so it's on this, page 1? Oh, it's
So
over
it's
here.
very, it's closer, it's approximately right here, because it's close to this neighbor,
Okay,
so somewhere in this.
This area,
oh, okay,
here's their property, but not quite.
okay,
So it's hanging over the water course.
yeah.
Yes. And onto the neighbor's, over the neighbor's fence at
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's one, and the other tree, the one that had the conservation, why don't you show
That's
where
the-
that was?
right.
Yeah,
That's
but-
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I guess the request tonight is that we've done everything, the Andesslers have done everything they can to comply with the order, to alert their neighbors, and now they want to take care of the trees, like the order lifted and be allowed to go ahead and remove the trees that we're talking about. So that's, I don't know if you have more questions or concerns.
Was the tree, the original tree that was cut, was the debris removed, or is it
Most of the brush, but there are still logs there.
still left? Okay. And,
and the stump's still there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So this additional tree that's leaning over, my feeling is it's obviously fine, I think, to cut that. Are you cutting just the part that's leaning, not the other part, or both parts?
That's the plan, as long as we don't determine that the
Other
other
part?
portion is.
All right. And there would be no mechanical equipment coming across the water course, right?
I think it's big enough that, you know, someone with a chainsaw can take that down safely, maybe.
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
Yeah, yeah. So,
And it's obviously, you saw it, and it's in need of,
Yes, so I will just put in from what I had observed. So on November 24th, I arrived at 50 Steel Road at around 2 o'clock. It was a cold and sunny afternoon where I had met both Martin and Lorraine and Dexler. And during my site visit, we had walked the entire length of where they had gotten surveyed. And I'm glad to hear that they have talked to their neighbor to get the trailer removed from both their property as well as the culvert. Obviously, I didn't see that at the time of the site inspection, but I would be happy to go back and do another inspection just to confirm that that was moved. And I also noted that there was no additional works that happened since the issuance of the cease and desist order. So I've seen clear compliance from the Dexlers to obey the order. There was some brush from bush hogging that was left on the edge of the culvert, and as we already pointed out, that tree that's hanging over the watercourse over the neighboring fence, that does exist. I took a closer look at it, and it does look like there's a little bit of rotting toward the base of the tree. And then lastly, one more tree that they had pointed out was, this isn't in the area of the wetland. It's in a conservation easement behind the house. It is barely within an upland review area of a wetland, but it's the same situation as what originally started this order. It's a tree in the conservation easement. It's a dead tree. It's a potential liability. And given that the nature of scope of work is to finish cutting down the tree that started it, clear out the brush that's currently just sitting at the edge of the culvert, remove that tree that's near the watercourse that's a liability, and to cut down the final dead tree that's on the other side of the house, I would like to suggest that potentially just allowing me an agent approval for them to take care of the remaining trees, remove the brush that's on site, and then I'll follow it up with an inspection after they get the work done, just to confirm that all the work has been completed.
Yeah, no,
Okay. Do we have any, Ginny?
I have no problem with removing the trees as long as the stumps remain.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else have any questions, concerns? Okay, oh,
The other one question.
Yeah, sure.
There's some brush, I think, that's on the neighbor's property that was from the brush hogging. And I don't know if it's within a wetland area or not, but it's not even on the property that they own or control. So I don't know what you can do about that, but it's one of the,
That is correct. To my knowledge, or from my perspective, it looks like that would all be part of the same work, whether you guys work out with your neighbor for him to clear up all the brush, or if you have a third-party company go and clear up all the brush, we can include that with this, just so that way it all gets done together. Or if you really want to find another way of making sure that they take care of that end of things, we could potentially do that as well.
Yeah, the other concern is the
identify
area.
yourself for the record. just-
Martin and Dexler, 50 Steel Road. The other concern is the brush hogging, even though some of it was on our property, not all of it was on our property. So I don't know what the responsibility is for the neighbor with
Yeah, I mean-
regard to brush hogging they did on their property that's within the conservation easement.
So do we have to order another cease and desist for them, the neighbor?
What I would like to first propose that we do is we relay the message to the end Dexlers that they get all the work cleared, and then they can communicate with their neighbor how they're going to tackle all of that. And if the neighbor does not wish to remove the brush hogging material that's on their portion of the property by the culvert, we can then pursue further action.
I guess my concern is the area that was not our property, but is conservation, that the neighbor brush hogged. So there's some of that, with that line, some of
Yeah.
that brush hogging was done
Well,
on
I-
conservation that belongs to the other. So we got the cease and desist. He did not get a cease and desist for that part. So that's,
Yeah.
But he's
I
not doing,
think-
he's not still doing it though, since.
no.
Okay.
He did do it, though.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it
No,
originally.
I
but-
think,
yeah.
I
No,
think
it's-
what Mr. Heine is suggesting is that, we can accept that, this work needs to be done, but if he refuses to do the
Let us
portion
know.
on his property that's in the conservation easement, that's not the responsibility of the Andexlers. They can come back and say to Mr. Heine, he's not cooperating, and then they would take
Then they'll go-
appropriate enforcement action with the
you
neighbor.
would make a complaint just like somebody did for you.
Okay, that's what I guess I
Same, same
understand
thing.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He
Yeah,
did brush hogging on a section that was his, that was within the, that would take a complaint, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yep, so it would be the same kind of process where if you try to work with your neighbor and they're not cooperating, you can file a complaint with me and then I can follow the necessary steps.
With you, Mr. Heine, actually seeing what was there and taking pictures, that is not enough for the town
Well,
to
I
file?
think-
You gotta let him know that, yeah.
I think the suggestion is, if I understand what is being suggested, is that we get the order tonight to clean up what is our responsibility and try to work with a neighbor to get them to do the same thing at the same time. If they do not, then you can go ahead and file a complaint. I mean,
Yeah, just mention it to him, it's gotta be done, and,
It'll be easier, you can get it done faster if you can work it out with him. If not, then come to us, let him know, and then, he's not gonna have to go back out, he's seen it, so.
that on our expense and on his expense? Because he did-
No.
No, he has to
it's-
do it himself.
No,
He has
he-
to do his own.
To be very clear, that, I mean, we're not offering to do his work at
Right.
the
Right,
expense of the
right.
Andexlers.
No.
That's not what was going on.
No, we're just saying,
correct.
just
yeah,
talk
no,
with him and say it's got to be cleaned
Right,
up.
if he cooperates at his own expense, that's what we're talking about.
Right,
Which
right.
actually, we did relay that when we talked about the trailer.
Yeah.
I did make it clear that, hey, all this stuff you put here can't stay there either,
Right,
but that hasn't been done.
yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay.
That-
Okay.
So we'd have to make two motions, right? One to lift the cease and desist, and then one, do they have to do an application in order to get the
I do not
agent
see
approval?
a need for an application on this, as it's very
Part of the cease and
minor
desist.
impact of work.
Yeah.
It's a part of the cease and desist order. I think
No.
just allowing me the agent approval for them to do this work will suffice.
All right,
But we're not gonna close the cease and desist until after the work's done.
right.
Right.
Okay, so we just make a motion.
Which is why I suggested that after the work has been done, if they
Goes
can
out and
contact
checks
me,
it out.
I'll go back out there, I'll do another site inspection, and once
Then
it's
we'll
been
close
cleaned
it
up,
after that.
I can then report back to you all for that to then be closed out.
Right.
Okay, so then I will make a motion to allow agent approval for the restitution and clearing and new tree removal for the property at 50 Steel Road, Enfield, Connecticut. Martin R. and Lorraine Andexler owners,
Remove the brush.
and removal of associated brush.
Right.
Second.
Okay, that's Kelly. So Kevin and Kelly seconded. Any further discussion? Any discussion? No. Okay, roll call.
Donna Corbin Savinsky.
Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Kelly Hemler.
Yes.
Dylan Bridge.
Yes.
Ken Kaufman.
Yes.
Robert Gillespie.
Yes.
7 in favor, motion passes. Thank you. And then once he comes, sees it's all done, then we come back and talk and close it.
And then just close it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just, we appreciate that, and, we just want to make it clear for the record that to the extent that the neighbor did damage on, we have to undertake to
Right.
rectify it,
Yes.
but we're not saying that it's something that we may have to take other action for of our own.
Right.
Independent of the town.
Right.
To set
Thank you
this
for
straight.
working with us
Yeah.
to remedy the
Just want to make that
problem.
clear, too. We're going to do that. So-
Yeah,
I
that's
do
fine.
have one question about the conservation discs that are put on the trees.
Oh, yeah.
We'd like to protect ourselves from future liability by, I don't know who issues those, so they can go along. Mr. Heine saw the abutters properties like this one with the tree hanging over, just so they're clear from their side.
Right.
Their backyards, that this is conservation and that they can't dump or do anything, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can.
Yeah, he would,
A new line of those across the butters area to clarify that
Oh.
it's conservation.
I do believe we have more discs in our office. I'll have to just I haven't issued them out before, so I just have to speak with some of my other coworkers, figure out what that process is to get you guys more of the conservation discs, but I can definitely work on getting you guys more of those discs to help prevent something like this happening again in the future.
Appreciate that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, that'd be good, thank you. Planning and staff report?
I have a couple things to report this time.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I was going to mention this at the last meeting, but of course the last meeting was canceled. We got a notice from Deep that a dam and safety general permit has been applied for over at Shaker Lake. They're just doing general dam repairs, nothing too major. And then the second thing I have to report tonight is over at 35 Bacon Road. For those of you who may not be familiar, this is in between both Shaker and Pines Lake. At the February 1st, 2022 regular meeting, they had received there was an approval for a distribution warehouse. at this coming Thursday's PZC, Amazon has applied for an admin approval for a modification of the permit. They've modified their plans to be much smaller as to what was previously approved. The new approval is about 216,482 square feet compared to the previous 819,000 square foot
Right.
proposal. This proposal also removes a parking lot to the north, which would remove roughly 163,000 square feet of impervious surface. The wetland impacts are the same or less than what was previously approved. And this will also maintain the same stormwater drainage system. So if anything, it's over-designed for what the development calls for. The erosion sediment controls in the proposed plans are consistent with what was also in the previously approved plans, and the overall development of the new proposal does not increase the limit of development, and it's consistent with the previous approval. So in other words, they're keeping at most the same footprint, but they're shrinking the building size a lot. They've kept the same stormwater drainage, and they've also removed some of the impervious surface.
That's good. Nice. So they don't have to come to us.
Nope.
Good, thank you. Anything else? No?
That is all I have.
Okay. Next is we don't have any to be received, applications?
Not at this time. There are some floating around out there,
Okay. I
but
would
nothing
think so.
received tonight.
None for tonight, okay. Miscellaneous. I know some of you attended a conference back a little while ago. We haven't had any meetings since. Anybody want to?
Go for it.
Go for it. Tell us what you heard, what you thought. It was a while ago.
Now, I guess the updates, the legal updates, not interesting, but good to hear, but nothing I don't think that we really have to worry about. It was nice to see people from other towns, and I think we're in a pretty good spot, if I can say that. Yeah, I think it seems to be the case. I don't know. Ken, did you?
Ditto.
Well, it's your first time in going, right?
Second time.
Second time, okay.
Second.
I will say I feel like the breakout sessions the first time were more interesting
Yeah.
than they were
This time?
this year. Also, the general atmosphere was it was a much smaller room, so people were packed. Like there was not enough seating for everyone. So hopefully next year they would go back to a bigger location. But.
Yeah, thanks. Then I want to thank the IT department, especially Lindsay, who came and brought us our iPads, so now we have iPads. And our training was, she gave us some notes and stuff for training because the system wasn't working well, but I think we'll be fine after that, once we see everything. And she'll be out answering any questions if we have any. So I think that's great. Anybody else have anything they want to? No? All right, so I want to wish everybody a nice Christmas and happy holidays and safe and healthy
Same
New
here.
Year. Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Who was that, Ken?
Ken.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it's 8:07.
No, it's 7:28.
Wow. Merry Christmas.
Is the town giving us?